Section 1 of Popcorn Recipes. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Alexia H. Popcorn Recipes by Mary Talbott. Introduction. To the reader, Dear Madam, in presenting you this little booklet, we have made an effort to give you something that would be of daily use in the home. In purchasing these recipes, we feel that we have secured the same from the best-known recipe writer, Mrs. Mary Hamilton Talbott. Her recipes are known from coast to coast, as she is a well-known recipe writer for the leading periodicals. Nelson's corn for popping is a corn of the highest popping test, and is the pick of Iowa's best of the amber rice variety. It is stored in absolutely mouse and rat-proof cribs, and great care is taken in the packing of the same. Popcorn has generally been known as popcorn, and we will say that there are as many grades of popcorn as there are of rice or coffee, and we know that in selecting this variety, we have selected not only a corn of the highest popping test, but of a superior eating quality, and a corn that is free from the hard and objectionable center found in most grades of popcorn. You will find the recipes of great use in preparing the dainty dishes for that pleasant evening. It will pay you to insist upon Nelson's 10 cents per pound package. End of Section 1. Section 2 of Popcorn Recipes by Mary Talbott. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Alexia H. Everyday uses of Nelson's popcorn. Popcorn has long been looked upon as a confection, and few people have realized its possibilities in cookery. It has, however, a recognized food value containing as high a percentage of protein, or bodybuilding material, as matured sweet corn, and its fuel value a pound is equally as great. It should, therefore, be used frequently in every home. End of Section 2. Section 3 of Popcorn Recipes by Mary Talbott. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Alexia H. Breakfast dishes. Popcorn may be served either as a hot or cold cereal. If the former way is desired, cover the popped kernels, and none pop better than Nelson's, with cold water and allow them to soak overnight. Then cook them in milk in the morning and serve with sugar and cream. A very tasty accompaniment to this may be made by washing some dates. Cut them up and put them in a saucepan with just enough water to cover and allow them to simmer for 5 minutes. Then drain and place around the hot popcorn or mix them with it. Stewed apples, prunes, plumped raisins, fruit juice, or any kind of plain fruit also make a nice addition to popcorn served as a cereal. An unusual but delicious way to serve Nelson's corn, popped, as a cereal is to combine it with cheese, one of the varieties which is mild in flavor and soft in texture. When the popcorn is cooked, just before removing from the stove, stir in a cupful of grated cheese and a little butter and salt. Allow to melt and become blended with the popcorn, then serve. This is eaten without cream and sugar. Popcorn omelet. Nelson's popcorn makes a delicious addition to the breakfast omelet. Put enough popped corn through the meat grinder to make a cupful and add to it a quarter of a cupful of milk. Allow to soak a few minutes. Then add 2 well-beaten eggs, whipped separately, half a teaspoonful of salt, a few grains of paprika, and a teaspoonful of chopped parsley. Melt 1 tablespoonful of butter in an omelet pan. Turn in the mixture and cook with moderate heat until firm. Fold, turn out upon a hot platter, and garnish with crisp bacon and a generous sprinkling of the unground popped corn. Popcorn hash. Chop fine some cold boiled potatoes and any other vegetables desired that may be on hand. Put them into a buttered frying pan, heat quickly and thoroughly, and salt to taste. Then add a large spoonful of ground popped corn, Nelson's is the best for popping, for each person to be served. When heated thoroughly, dish and serve. Popcorn scrapple. Add to 1 cupful of hominy and 2 cupsful of cornmeal enough boiling water to cook thoroughly in a double boiler until of the consistency for frying. Take from the fire and stir in 2 heaping cupsful of popped and ground corn. A Nelson's corn makes crisp and flaky kernels. Then pour into buttered pans and when cold, slice and fry. This is especially good on a cold, snappy morning. Popcorn and bacon. Just before the morning bacon, or sausage, is altogether cooked, add to the grease a generous handful of Nelson's corn when popped. Allow it to brown and serve with the meat. It adds a delicious nutty flavor. End of section 3. Section 4 of Popcorn Recipes by Mary Talbott. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Alexia H. Meat substitutes. Popcorn roast. Mix together 2 cupsful of breadcrumbs, a 1/2 cupful of chopped nut meats, and of popped and ground corn, Nelson's popcorn for popping, 1/2 cupful each of hot water and melted butter, 1 teaspoonful of onion juice, 1 teaspoonful of tomato catsup, 1 1/2 teaspoonsful of salt, 1 saltspoonful of pepper, and 1 beaten egg. When mixed thoroughly, put into buttered mold and bake about an hour. Cover the first part of the time, then baste 3 times with hot butter. Turn into a hot dish, sprinkled with popped corn, and served with a brown sauce. Popcorn cutlet. Mix 2 cupsful of breadcrumbs, 2 cupsful of popped and ground corn. Nelson's corn gives a nutty flavor. 1 cupful of milk or cream, 2 eggs, and salt and pepper to taste. Mold into cutlet form. Flour and fry in hot butter as you do veal cutlet. Garnish with chopped parsley and tomato sauce. Popcorn rolls. To 1 tablespoonful of butter and 1 teaspoonful of peanut butter, add 2 1/2 tablespoonsful of hot water. When the butters are melted, stir into them 1 cupful of finely ground popped corn, Nelson's corn always pops, and a small quantity of breadcrumbs, enough to make a paste which can be molded with the hands into small cakes. Fry these in butter until a delicate brown and serve with tomato sauce. These make a dainty luncheon or supper dish. End of section 4. Section 5 of Popcorn Recipes by Mary Talbott. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Alexia H. Soup and stuffing. A very delicious soup may be made by cooking a can of peas in a quart of milk until soft. Press through a sieve to remove outer covering of peas. Add a tablespoonful of onion juice, a tablespoonful of butter, pepper and salt to taste, and a good handful of Nelson's corn when popped, mixed with a few breadcrumbs. After this is cooked up well, serve and add a teaspoonful of whole popped grains to each plateful of soup. Corn may be used instead of the peas, and an equally good soup will result. Stuffing for fowl or meats. Soak in cold water 1/2 a loaf of crumbed bread and an equal bulk of Nelson's corn, after it is popped, until soft. Squeeze and add a slice of onion, a tablespoonful of chopped parsley, salt and pepper to taste, and 2 well-beaten eggs. Put this on a pan with some butter, and put in the oven long enough to brown slightly, stirring often, then use. End of section 5. Section 6 of Popcorn Recipes by Mary Talbott. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Alexia H. With vegetables. Parsnips and popcorn. Wash, scrape, and slice thin 2 good-sized parsnips and cook them until perfectly tender in 2 quarts of water. When they are nearly done, add a teaspoonful of salt, and when altogether done, a tablespoonful of flour mixed smooth with a little cold water. Stir well and let boil until the flour is cooked. Then stir in half a cupful of popped and ground corn. Nelson's corn is the best that grows. Let boil up once or twice, or until the corn is hot, and serve. Popcorn with turnips or carrots. Mashed turnips or carrots may be made more tasty by stirring in a cupful of Nelson's corn, popped and ground. Macaroni and popcorn. Cook 1 cupful of macaroni, broken into inch lengths, in boiling salted water until tender. Drain and pour cold water through it to separate the pieces. Then add cream sauce made with 4 tablespoonsful of flour, the same quantity of butter, salt and pepper to taste, and a cupful of milk. Add 2 cupsful of Nelson's corn after it is popped and ground. Pour into a buttered baking dish, cover with buttered crumbs and a little grated cheese, and bake until a golden brown. Potato and popcorn balls. Mix 2 cupsful of hot mashed potatoes, 1 teaspoonful of chopped onion, 1 tablespoonful of chopped parsley, 2 tablespoonsful of butter, salt, and pepper to taste. Then shape them into small balls, open the center, and put in some popped corn. Nelson's makes the crisp and flaky grains. Place on a buttered dish and cook in a moderate oven a quarter of an hour. Sprinkled ground popcorn over them before removing from the oven, and serve alone or with tomato sauce. Stuffing for onions. Cook together for 5 minutes 1 tablespoonful of breadcrumbs, 5 tablespoonsful of ground popped corn, Nelson's corn for popping, 2 tablespoonsful of butter, 2 tablespoonsful of chopped parsley, salt and pepper to taste, and a dash of paprika. Take from the fire and add 1 beaten egg. Remove the centers from onions, fill with this mixture, and bake. End of section 6. Section 7 of Popcorn Recipes by Mary Talbott. This LibriVox recording is on the public domain. Read by Alexia H. Salads. Cut bananas into halves. Scoop out the centers of each and fill with Nelson's corn after it is popped and ground, and serve on lettuce with mayonnaise dressing. Mix together 1 cupful of chopped celery, 1 cupful of raisins, and 1 cupful of popped and rolled corn. Nelson's gives a nutty taste. And serve on lettuce or any salad green with mayonnaise dressing. Mix together 1 pint of apples cut into small match-like pieces, half a pint of popcorn after it is popped and rolled, Nelson's corn pops best, and the same quantity of chopped celery. Dress with boiled dressing and serve in apple cups or on lettuce leaves. Cut into thin slices 4 good-sized boiled white potatoes and add to them the crisp white portion of 2 bunches of celery, chopped, and 2 1/2 cupsful of Nelson's corn after it has been popped and ground. Sprinkle with salt and pepper, mix with half a pint of mayonnaise, and just before serving, cover the salad with half a pint of whipped cream. End of section 7. Section 8 of Popcorn Recipes by Mary Talbott. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Alexia H. Canapes. Cut bread into any shape and fry it in deep fat. Mix chopped olives and Nelson's corn, popped, with mayonnaise and spread on the fried bread. Rub the yolks of hard-boiled eggs to a paste and add an equal quantity of sardines and Nelson's popcorn, popped and ground. Moisten with lemon juice and serve on rounds of toast. End of section 8. Section 9 of Popcorn Recipes by Mary Talbott. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Alexia H. Sandwiches. Put half a pint of Nelson's corn, popped, through the grinder and mix it with 6 boned sardines, a little salt and pepper, and enough tomato ketchup or strained tomato juice to form a paste. Spread on hot buttered toast, sprinkle with grated cheese, and serve at once. Make a paste of cream cheese and Nelson's corn, popped and ground, and spread it on a slice of brown bread. Cover the top with raisins, currants, or chopped figs, and cover this with another slice of buttered bread. This makes a wholesome sandwich for the lunchbox. For Sunday night supper, when a light but nutritious bill of fare is wanted, chop fine a cupful of raisins and mix them with a cupful of Nelson's corn after it has been popped and rolled. Blend this with the white of an egg, well whipped and seasoned with a pinch of salt. Spread between thin slices of buttered bread. Do not prepare until just before serving time. A dainty sweet sandwich is made by mixing strained honey with Nelson's corn, popped and ground, and mashed ripe bananas and placing between slices of buttered bread. Remove the stones from dates and fill the cavities with Neuchâtel cheese, into which ground popped corn, Nelson's corn for popping, has been worked. Serve with salted crackers. This is a delicious novelty for luncheon. End of section 9. Section 10 of Popcorn Recipes by Mary Talbott. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Alexia H. Desserts. Popcorn cream pudding. Soak a quarter of a box of gelatin in a quarter of a cupful of cold water. Make a custard of 2 cups full of milk, 3 egg yolks, a third of a cupful of sugar, and a third of a teaspoonful of salt. Add the gelatin and strain into a pan set in cold water. Stir in 2/3 of a cupful of Nelson's corn, popped and ground, and a teaspoonful of almond extract, stirring until it begins to thicken. Then add the stiffly whipped whites of 3 eggs, mold, chill, and serve garnished with the whole grains of popped corn. Whipped cream may be served with this pudding. Popcorn custard. Heat 1 quart of milk in a double boiler. When warm, stir in the beaten yolks of 4 eggs, 4 tablespoonsful of granulated sugar, and a scant tablespoonful of cornstarch, mixed with a little cold water. When this thickens, add 3/4 of a cupful of Nelson's corn after it is popped and ground, and a teaspoonful of almond extract. When cold, cover with a meringue, made by whipping the whites of the eggs to a stiff froth and adding slowly 8 teaspoonsful of powdered sugar and a few spoonsful of tart jelly, preferably currant. Prune and popcorn pudding. Pick over and wash half a pound of prunes and soak them an hour in 2 cupsful of cold water. Boil until soft and remove the stones, being careful to retain all the meat of the prunes. Add to them 1 cupful of sugar, a small piece of stick cinnamon, 1 1/3 cupsful of boiling water, and let them simmer about 10 minutes. Add 1/3 of a cupful of cornstarch, diluted with enough water to make it pour easily, and cook 5 minutes. Remove the cinnamon, add a tablespoonful of lemon juice, the stiffly beaten whites of 2 eggs, and half a cupful of Nelson's corn, after it is popped and ground, mold, chill, and serve with plain or whipped cream. Quickly prepared dessert. A dainty and easily prepared dessert is made by soaking a cupful of raisins in warm water until they are well plumped. Drain them and mix them with a cupful of Nelson's corn after it is popped and ground. Serve with plain or whipped cream. Popcorn macaroons. Mix half a cupful of popped and rolled corn, Nelson's is the best, half a package of chopped raisins, 1 cupful of powdered sugar, the whites of 2 eggs and a tablespoonful of flour together and drop on greased brown paper by tablespoonsful and bake in a moderate oven until light brown. Popcorn wafers. Cream together half a cupful of granulated sugar and a quarter of a cupful of butter. Add 1 tablespoonful of milk, 1 well-beaten egg, 1/4 of a teaspoonful of salt, and 1 cupful of popcorn, popped and ground. Nelson's makes crisp and flaky kernels. Mix into this 1 1/2 cupsful of pastry flour into which 1 teaspoonful of baking powder has been sifted, and add half a teaspoonful of almond extract. Roll thin, cut into small rounds or fancy shapes, and bake. These are nice for the afternoon tea table or the kiddies' lunchbox. Popcorn trifle. Place cut up marshmallows in a dish set in boiling water, and when they are melted, cover saltines with about 1 inch of the mixture. Then sprinkle over the top very thick Nelson's corn, popped and rolled. Set in a moderate oven until a delicate brown. Popcorn marguerites. Make a paste of Nelson's corn, popped and ground, and chopped raisins, mixed with boiled icing. Spread on vanilla wafers or crackers and put in the oven long enough to brown. Popcorn pie. Cream well together 1 large cupful of granulated sugar, 1 heaping tablespoonful of butter, and when very light, add the well-beaten yolks of 3 eggs, 1 cupful of molasses, and 1 teaspoonful of grated nutmeg, and lastly, the stiffly whipped whites of the eggs. Put this mixture into pans lined with a rich crust. Before removing from the oven, cover the top thickly with the snowy kernels, which come when Nelson's corn is popped. Popcorn and baked apples. Peel and core tart apples, scoop out the centers, and fill with a mixture of Nelson's corn, popped and ground, chopped raisins, and a little lemon peel. Place in a baking dish and pour over them half a cupful of water and dust with granulated sugar. Bake in a slow oven until tender. Sprinkle with soft breadcrumbs and sugar. Bake 10 minutes more and serve hot with cream or a thin custard. End of section 10. Section 11 of Popcorn Recipes by Mary Talbott. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Alexia H. Candies. Popcorn fudge. Boil together 2 cups full of sugar, half a cupful of maple syrup, half a cupful of water, and 1/3 of a teaspoonful of salt until they will form a soft ball when dropped into cold water. Beat this slowly into the stiffly beaten whites of 2 eggs. When smooth, add 2 1/2 cupsful of corn, popped and ground. Nelson's gives the nutty flavor. Pour into buttered pans and mark when cool. Molasses popcorn candy. Boil together into a granite pan 1 pint of molasses, 1 cupful of brown sugar, a tablespoonful of butter, and 2 tablespoonsful of vinegar until it becomes brittle when dropped into cold water. Just before removing from the fire, add a large pinch of salt, a large cupful of Nelson's corn, popped, and half a teaspoonful of almond extract. Pour into buttered tins and mark into squares before it is cold. Honey popcorn balls. Boil 1 cupful of strained honey until it will form a soft ball when dropped into cold water. Have ready a good-sized bowl of Nelson's corn, popped. Pour the honey over it, mold the corn into balls, and stand them on greased paper. A cupful of sugar and half a cupful of water may be boiled to a syrup and used in the same way. Chocolate popcorn. Cook together 1 cupful of sugar, 1/4 of a cupful of syrup, half a cupful of water, and 2 ounces of grated chocolate together until it hardens when dropped into cold water. Pour this over 2 quarts of Nelson's fluffy popped corn kernels. Stir well with a fork in order to cover all the grains. Dates stuffed with popcorn. Cut open the dates, remove the pits, and fill the cavities with Nelson's corn, popped and ground, mixed with a little strained honey. Press the edges of the dates together and roll in confectioner's sugar. End of section 11. Section 12 of Popcorn Recipes by Mary Talbott. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Alexia H. Conclusion. Dear friends, the usefulness of a recipe book for suggestions in time of need prompts our placing this little pamphlet in your possession with the compliments of the Sam Nelson Jr. Company. It is not generally recognized, we believe, how nutritious, wholesome, and appetizing popcorn may be made in conjunction with various dishes for regular meals, as well as for entertainment, for an evening by the fireside, or upon the occasion of company to whom you wish to present something new, or at least unusual. Nelson's corn for popping is the pick of Iowa's fields, the amber rice variety, specially selected, carefully cultured and matured, and given our most careful inspection before boxing for the trade. No better popcorn can be had, and we bespeak for Nelson's corn your kind reception and trial. We are anxious to have our corn prove its merits to you, and we present this booklet as a means to that end. Very sincerely yours, Sam Nelson Jr. Company, Grinnell, Iowa. End of section 12. End of Popcorn Recipes by Mary Talbott.